Hi, John. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm interested because this service has been going on for a very, very long time, going back to the 80s. I'm wondering whether it's more fashionable to do it today, having gone through the whole process of apps and online and even going back to Midnight Matchmaker. It's more acceptable these days to ask for some help to find a partner.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most of the callers now that come to see us, or people that call about our services, they mainly have used the online dating apps, and they've come to us because of the personalised approach that we do offer. Whereas, you just get all sorts of people online.
And you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't even know whether you can rely on the photo.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't really know whether that photo is actually for that person, right? Because there's so many, like stealing photos these days, and whether or not they're actually real is another thing.
There's the other thing, and I mentioned this earlier, that for a long time people thought, well, do you really need to go and get some help, get a matchmaker, that you should be able to just wander out there and just bump into someone, and that doing this means there might be something wrong with you?
No, not at all. Most people that we deal with are time poor. I mean, as I said, a lot of them have probably used like the apps, and they're just finding that swiping left and right, it's just so time consuming, and not knowing, and then they meet people, they're not really ready to settle down or wanting a relationship. All of those things start to play a part when looking for a partner.
So, in your case, do you have an instinct, or is it done through a grid of ticks and crosses? How do you overall try and work out who you're going to bring closer together?
Sure. So we basically meet our clients first of all, so we get to know our clients quite well. We go over their profiles and their preferences in much more detail. So apart from, the ticks that you talked about, we also get to know our clients' values, where they're at in life, whether or not they're ready to actually have a family, or some people in their early 30s, 40s don't want to have children. Those are the things that we need to look at. And then the later age, they want somebody that just they can have someone to travel with, companionship, and all sorts of interests as well that we also look at.
Yeah. So with all of that, you just mentioned a few different demographics. Do you have people from all demographics coming to you?
Yes, we do. But mainly we have people from their mid-20s and above. So people who are younger in that demographics, there are more people that are ready to settle down and have a family. And then you've got people in their 50s and above, that just wants to love again. And they probably have gone through the whole marriage side of things and that hadn't worked. So they want to go back out there again.
I guess the issue then is if someone comes in there and you've seen what they look like, you've got a sense of what they're like, what their personality's like, and then they say, this is the kind of person I'd like to be matched with, and you know that person isn't going to be interested in them. How do you bring all of that together? If someone's basically having themselves on.
Yeah, so we become their voices, really. So when we get to know our client by meeting them, getting to know them and who they are, we really get a good gauge of, whether they're sociable and whether they are more quiet or timid, or they're more sort of the people that just want to stay at home, or they socialise. Those kind of things are quite important for a lot of people. So we really get to know the rhythm of a person.
If someone says, I want someone who, and this it could apply to men and women, who says, I want to meet someone because I feel 20 years younger than I am. I want to meet someone who's 20 years younger than I am. You often see this from men and women.
Yes, we do.
So how do you sort that out? Because I'm just imagining are you getting a lot of people saying, I want to be with someone decades older than me?
Not a lot, but we do get them. So we have to educate people too that we need to be realistic. So if you're a man who, in your 70s and you want somebody in their 40s because you want to have children, then that's going to be quite difficult for us. So we have to actually educate you of the challenges that we would have. And often we probably won't be able to help if those sort of criteria is what you are looking for.
Yep. And so how does it work? They come in, you then give people, all right, here's the option. Do you show people photos or give them an idea?
Yeah.
So how much do they know about each other before they end up going out?
Oh, a lot actually. So we provide. So we've gone to the traditional approach where we contact the ladies about the man first. So she would get his profile, his self-descriptions, photographs, regular interests, and we tell her more about him. And once she's happy to meet him, we contact him in the same way. And once he's happy, we just pass her telephone number and he gives her a call.
Okay, all right. So that's the way it works, and then it just you can have a number. What about it? Can people keep coming back? Is there a point where you say, "Listen, I know what I can do for you"?
Yeah. So when people meet, and one might like the other, and the other doesn't, and vice versa, so that can really that can happen, or that they don't like each other at all. So they just come back and we introduce them again. Yeah. So we do, ask for feedback as well. So where we can help clients of their journey with us, we'll do our best to actually help them.
Is there a situation where, there are people who, and you know how this works, people who get together and everything is wrong in terms of how they, in terms of compatibility, but something clicks. Is it possible to pick that when you're doing this?
Yes, absolutely. Where we don't really know at the end of the day. We're not 100% sure whether they are the right person, but there's a lot of reasons why we would introduce them, right? There's already a lot of compatibility, but at the end of the day, it's the chemistry that they are looking for, and they have to click, and that's something that we can't actually give.
All right, just be honest with me. Do you watch Married at First Sight and sit there and go, really?
I cringe. I have. I don't actually watch it, to be honest, because I just cannot, go through it.
Okay, it's a very strange process because apparently all the work is done, and then those couples are produced, and okay. So look, people, and post pandemic, did you have a surge in business?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I actually had one client in particular that in mind. He said to me, Recel, when you were working with me, I had all of these restrictions on my preferences, and I didn't want this and I didn't want that. Now that I've had that time being on my own during the pandemic, I've realised how silly those restrictions are. So please, can you list them all up? Because so in terms of people, that was the sort of things that we're hearing over and over again. So a lot of singles over that time had realised that, being on your own isn't actually that much fun.
Thank you, Recel. It's been a very interesting conversation. Obviously, this applies to New South Wales. Vitalpartners.com.au is your website, and you operate within New South Wales. But I think just the general concept of having a more personal approach makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I just want to add on an ACT as well,
which helps our 2CC listeners too. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much.